Well, good morning from Hong Kong. Well, what we have here is I'm down in the V-berth here. As you can see, this is the steps coming down. I've made my distribution panel that I can start putting breakers into. I've got a lot more things to do to it, but that is, the top is my DC, and the center is going to be my battery monitor. Down below, right side is inverter. The left side, or the left side is the inverter breakers, and then on the right side is going to be the shore power generator in. And then I've got other liquid crystal displays and time counters and stuff for the generator and that. But it's made from old growth teak. I just got it cut open right now. Here on this, I'm going to be making a fiberglass box. It's probably going to go back about 8-10 inches, and that where wires can come in. Above this, on this walkway, this is all fiberglass. This has all been fiberglassed in. One of the most common problems with these old wooden boats is the wood decking. It leaks in here, so they've taken out all that old wood, and they've just replaced it with like a 1/4 inch or thicker fiberglass sheet, and it's all supported. But down here, this will be a fiberglass box. It'll be watertight, so no water. This doesn't leak here. I did when I first got the boat. Sorry, this is probably gonna down over here in the corner there. You can see where there's some damage that was due to the windows that were leaking. But when you look inside, here, it's still really, you can see the water has just run down in the corner there, and it's kind of absorbed it. But I've got the stud here. I can cut that out, and but it's dry back here. And again, this is where I'll drill a hole. Wires will come here. I can fasten them. And then over on this side, over here is also going to build another box, and this is where the inverter and when connected to shore power, I will have a grid-tied inverter that'll throw back power. Got some life jackets back here, but and that goes to the next bulkhead down there. But other than that, I've been sealing on the outside, so it's doing pretty good, the side over here. And it just got a little bit of repairs, but this is still solid. This is still very solid. I just need to clean that up. Again, this is all cosmetics. And there's a piece of veneer over this. I don't know, it's a few mil thick veneer. But I can putty knife that off, or I could just go right over the top of it after I make some repairs. But this is it. I've got just that plastic over it, so when I make this video, you can kind of see. I've got 26 DC breakers. Now, I'm not going to be using 26 breakers, but when you make a panel, there's, and then after you get everything going, you go, I got to add one more breaker. I wished I would have had one more. Well, I've made this, so I've got more than enough. I'm going to try to keep it port and starboard, and that if I can. If not, it's not a big deal. Everything will be labeled here. And so what I'm doing is see if I can. Let's go to top side, and I can kind of show you. But it just looks good. But now here's the you're gonna love this. This is old growth teak wood. And now I didn't buy it. I did not buy that. Which was kind of cool is I've see where you have here. You have all these little hatches that was underneath the seating. I took the seating out. That's over here. Well, this is old growth teak. This is from the 1980s. This was from the 1980s. And so what I've done is I've kind of taken it apart, ripped them down, and it's all old growth teak, and it kind of came together. These they're 1/4 inch thick. They're really not good for anything other than mixing paint now, unfortunately. So, but I used it out of these, and I only had to use 2 of them. and I was able to get a good one, because the ones that went along the back wall, they were longer, and so I was able to really take advantage of that. But what I'm planning on doing here is, here I've got my main battery system, and then the DC comes into my inverter, and so I have the inverter out. Now, so you see I had the 2 rows on the AC side. So it is that, and that's a 20 amp, because I'm not going to be using more than 20 amps at 230 volt AC. So 20 amp main goes, and then here's where it goes out. Then now also I'm going to have a switch from either shore power or generator. I'm going to make a shore connection because, again, future uses, just be able to test out the grid tied inverter. If I go into a marina and dock up, I can actually feed back, see if it works. But then here's the generator, so I got to switch A or B. And so then that comes into a main, which will be a 32 amp. Then that'll go out, and so like the top one, this inverter is also a charger, and it has a bypass. So when shore power is on, I can turn this breaker on, throw 20 amps into it. It'll bypass the DC. So DC going in will get bypassed. The AC will go straight through it, but it will also charge. It'll charge my battery bank. And then here's my DC out. So that's how I'm going to be working that. That's what's going to go on inside that panel. And I've got some of the kit here. Like as you can see, here's the switch. Some of my gauges here. These are all, it's a liquid crystal display. They're blue, they tell you your voltage and the amps that you're using. It uses current transformers. Just a simple current transformer here. And so I'm good. But again, now on my panels, now here's the shore power side. Now what I've got up here, I don't know if you can see it, I've got kilowatt hours. Now this is going to be able to tell me, so when I have the shore generator on and the AC power that comes out of there, I can document, just like any good captain would on a boat. You'll document some of this, how many hours the engines are when you start and you finish. Well, that's what I'll do with this as well, so I can see how much fuel, what the efficiency is, etc. But I've got RCD or ground fault intercept type breakers. These all go in here. These are all AC rated. And again, even on the inverter side, I'm going to, as the power goes through, this is the real world stuff. You can do your math, to get watts and all that, but this is just going to be going with the flow. So this is hardware, and it works, and it fits right in. Then again, here's my 20 amp RCD or ground fault breaker, which is the main. And again, I'm not going to be using all of these, but I've got them should I need them. And that's the one thing is, if you're going to do it right the first time. So that's what's happening there. And now the other thing that it's been kind of nice. Excuse me. We've got a lot of rain out here this morning. I found this old table. Sounds like thunder. There's some thunder clouds over there. I found this old table down in the lazarette, and it was much bigger. I think it was 10 inches each side, longer here. But I've cut it down. I've revarnished it. Sanded down the teak, varnished it, and that. But it's a really, really rock solid table. I mean, it's solid. So, which is nice to sit up on the bow, and that you got a place to set your cocktails, your favorite beverage. But it's a nice little table. And over here, a mate of mine, he picked up a wood boat similar to this, but in a lot better condition. But he's got a 3-burner, 4-burner beef eater. It's an Australian-made barbecue. But this was on his boat. And it's a cute little stainless steel grill. It's got a flat plate. It's got the grill. And he said, it hadn't been started for 3 years, but Sparker doesn't work. I can buy a new one of those, but I had a problem with the valve. But now I got the valve going, and when I get this, I'll just get a new knob for it. But it's working. So thing is, I cooked some sausages on it the other night. It was pretty good. So, but not too bad for a free little stainless steel grill. And the nice thing about this is down here is these legs. These legs unscrew, so I can have it level here. And so when I go out, these come up here. These strap down. I take the legs off, and I just set it down inside the chain locker, you know, more towards the back of the chain locker, and we go out to sea. And I don't have to worry about it flopping around. And when I'm driving it, I don't have to worry about an obstruction. Well, that's not going to be there either, but that's going to be part of our rainwater collection system that I'm building on the boat here. And speaking of rainwater, I need to start collecting it. I've been using the shore water and the back hydroponics system. I had run out of the pH down, and right now, after all the nutrients have set through, I'm still at 7.0 for the pH on that, and the roots are getting black, the top leaves are turning yellow. I've just, the roots are getting locked out because of the high pH, so they're not being able to take any nutrients. Luckily enough, the tomatoes, I had enough, and those are at a 6.2 pH, and they're doing really well, so they're happy. Everything else is going good. We've got runners. Got little runners we're starting to have take root, and hopefully we can get a bunch more out of those. Maize peanuts and stuff. But other than that, it's nice. It's nice to sit here and just kind of sit up, because I mean, if you look, I'm not going to sit there now and get a wet butt. But as you can see, that's the Peak. If anybody knows anything about Hong Kong, or you'd like to know something about Hong Kong, on the other side of this here is the Hong Kong skyline that you see in all the big pictures, all the big high-rise business buildings and all that. And this is called the Peak. So you know, you have rich people, you have filthy rich people, and you have the disgustingly rich people. Well, that's where the disgustingly rich people live, I'm told. I've never been up there. Well, I have been up to the Peak, but I don't know anyone that lives up there. But it's kind of cool. That's what happens up there. I'm not one of the disgustingly rich, so that's just where the lifestyle of the rich and shameless are. I hang out down here on the water. I'm a at sea level kind of guy. All right, but other than that, this basil is doing good. I keep clipping it. We keep clipping it, and it grows back overnight, and man, it smells so good. But other than that, guys, this is going good. I've got the panel, so I can start using breakers. I don't know if you can see this. I think these are Carling or something like that. But this is an AC and a DC breaker, but they're expensive. They are quite expensive. So I'm using these only on the DC because I do trust them on the DC. These are Hager's. These are AC only. And mind you, for the solar power, I do have these type breakers. Again, it's on the DIN rail, as these are on a DIN rail. But I just didn't want to use the DIN rail system for the DC. I do like these breakers. I do like them a lot. I find them to be extremely reliable. And when it comes to long runs and that, those are great for my solar. These are the solar panel breakers. Like, here's a 50 amp main. It's a 50 amp main. These are great just for that. But I would rather have these, and I don't know why. It's a personal preference. It's totally a personal preference. But they're a nice breaker, and they take up less space. So that's what's happening here in Hong Kong. There's May's lemon tree. I don't know, I'm rambling on. But anyway, I've got a distribution panel. So that is my news for the day. So I've got to go find some pH down, and then I've got to go start making a fiberglass box. Excuse me, make a fiberglass box and start running some wires. Alright guys, be good, be safe, and always be well. Bye-bye.